figure out what it is.
All right. So I have to send you this because you have to hear it.
Okay.
So you get to drive.
Okay.
So I want to play a little game. Our favorite lady, and we're talking, let's just be in the show at this point. Our favorite lady. I love the hand claps.
Yeah. We already been in it. We was already running. We were just kind of peeping in on the convo, lusting after Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
Okay.
Sorry, baby. She fine.
you know, it's all right. She on the screen. It's not real. That's how I preface it. That's how I justify it. It's not real.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Let me stop. All right. So our favorite young lady, one Brittany Renner, went on DJ Akademics podcast, and she sat down with.
Was that Akademics?
That was DJ Akademics. Yeah.
No,
off the record.
Nah, it was a different one. She was. She did. Okay, continue.
She sat down to debate. It's just funny it's funny saying Brittany Renner and debate in the same sentence, but she sat down with, and I'm being an ass. She's actually quite intelligent. She did well. She did well when you watch the whole thing. The clip that I'm going to show, she did not do so well, in my opinion. But she sat down to debate Fresh and Fit. Now, we've only ever covered Fresh and Fit once in the 2 years we've been doing the show. We've only ever covered them once. I decided to stop covering them because they kind of stepped in it and created all kinds of problems for themselves. Like had a dude run up on the apartment where they record and like, come out here, I'm gonna fight you. It's a long, messy trail.
I didn't realize that was Akademics' podcast, though.
Yes. So he has been on their podcast. They've been on his podcast. They have a connection. But they are dating coaches, for lack of a better term. Essentially, they try to teach men how to be successful with women, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying they're qualified. I'm saying that's what they do.
Gotcha.
So Akademics thought it would be cool to bring these two diametrically opposed ideas together and sit them at a table to have a debate. I watched just this clip and I watched some other clips. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. It's a longer, like 2-hour thing. But when I watched this clip, I said, it might be fun to talk about this. Then I thought it might be fun to turn it into a drinking game.
Oh, Lord. I need to pour some more liquor in. All right.
So let's set some rules. Are you familiar with Kevin Samuels' sign language?
No.
All right. Sign language, it's an acronym. SIGN is an acronym that stands for shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right.
Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Got you.
So I propose that we do a shot every time Brittany Renner uses sign language during this 8-minute clip.
Man, or we could just drink the whole bottle and just save some time. Because the clip that I saw, it was like a 45-second clip, maybe a minute or whatever, where she was just on the attack. She was just going at dudes and that. And the clip that I saw, he didn't really fare too well because you really don't win an argument with a black woman in the first place. So you're kind of already at a disadvantage because black women, I'm sorry. Because this particular woman was not trying to use logic. She was just wanted to insult and say outlandish shit to these guys because she felt insulted. So.
Yes. So I got my favorite shot glass. Let me, let's get that right in there so you can see it. Can you read that?
No, I can't. No, I can't. What does it say?
It says,
I can't read it.
I love you for your personality, but that dick is a really nice bonus. That's a gift from my baby. Hold on. There we go. Get you a good shot of it. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's how my baby gets down. Okay. So I got my favorite shot glass. I got one of my favorite bourbons. Bullet.
What you got?
Bullet.
Okay. Gotcha.
You can tell I'm not a drinker like I used to be. I've had this bottle for 2.5 weeks now. That's all I drink out of it.
All right. Well, make me feel guilty, damn it. I have my favorite. I don't have a shot glass. I'm actually sipping, just sipping.
You got it.
And my favorite bourbon, one of my favorite bourbons, is a bottle. Is actually about done. So,
yeah. You ain't gonna have enough.
As backup, I also have a Terramano tequila. Now, you're not supposed to mix brown and white, but you know what? Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony. So
I've never really had a problem with it.
Yeah, let's go with it.
See, some of y'all gonna catch that joke tomorrow.
That was a Rainbow Coalition joke. That's
all right.
Is Dr. Martin Luther King's dream realized?
In every courtroom where they're asking for child support all over these great United States.
Wait, hold up. Speaking of which, I don't know if I have. Let me see. There is a meme that made me laugh really hardcore, and it's a girl. I'll just explain it and I'll send it to you. Maybe you can check it out. But it's either she's white or light skinned, very pretty woman, and the caption is her practicing supporting her man in the NFL, and she's in sitting and pretending to sit in the stands and applaud and clap and blow kisses, and when things happen on the field, she's throwing, hey, baby, and it's different, different games, different outfits. She's showing up in just all, and then she's light skinned. She shows up with a doll, a dark skinned baby doll, and she's showing to the camera, look at daddy, hey, and then the next cut is Dr. Umar looking into the camera like, hey. It's funny if you see it. Oh boy. All right, let's go. So am I playing this audio or?
Yep. Let it roll, right. And we'll jump in periodically. If you don't stop it, I'll tell you to stop it when I see or hear sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, or the need to be right.
That's the whole. Okay.
Ambulances are on standby.
Don't tell Myra until today. So we walk in. You first see Brittany Renner.
By the way, I find Akademics very annoying.
Fair enough. I think you are
very annoying.
You are in good company, bro. I think a lot of people feel that same way.
It's very annoying, and he does a lot for the sake of the camera and the internets. That if if somebody ran up on him, he wouldn't really be about that life. He talks very inflammatory, but hey, okay, yeah, as you were.
Uh-huh. And we're thinking you're probably gonna be like, okay, shit, we're gonna have this great debate. But you said initially, I don't think there's much to really debate. Why?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We've always said it, men and women, we're very different. We have opposing goals. Girls are trying to, get resources, time, attention out of guys. Guys are trying to get sex. And girls, a lot of the time, are trying to get what they need to get out of dudes without necessarily giving it up. And some girls are good at it, some girls aren't. And then there's other girls that are kind of models for that are good at finessing dudes. And
you can pause
not to say that you're a finesser.
Sound like you had some commentary there.
But girls are able.
I'm noticing, what I also noticed from the clip also, the dark-skinned dude sitting next to the brother that's talking seemingly was on mute. He didn't seem to chime in much.
So his name is Walter, I think.
Okay.
and the guy talking is Myron Gaines.
Okay.
Walter
Okay.
has kind of he has talked too much as of late, so it's probably a good thing that he's not talking now, and he has a stuttering issue, which he seems to have overcome, but it still kind of creeps up from time to time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good that he's not talking, because boy, oh boy, has he been putting his foot in his mouth lately, and it's just been kind of causing all kinds of trouble.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So, run laps around a lot of guys, and that's why our podcast exists, to help dudes out to understand like how women operate and how they move.
That's not why they
So,
exist.
a different point of view.
Wait. Where do you think she fits in that? Because I think her point of view would be diametrically opposed to you guys by saying, well, I'm not the exact typical person who.
Okay. Is there a point where I can fast forward to kind of get to the fucking?
It's commentary, not porn.
Well, Brittany Renner's on here, so
Look,
is it really?
I hate to blow your expectations, but her clothes stay on her body the entire time.
That don't mean somebody ain't get fucked on here. Somebody got fucked.
You could probably skip it ahead a couple of seconds when she starts talking.
All right, I'm in 2 minutes. Let's go.
Not necessarily get finesse and get what they want out of girls, which a lot of the times is intimacy, but they're not able to get it. But girls are easily able to obtain money, time, resource, attention, whatever it is. Girls are running laps around dudes, which is why podcasts like ours exist.
Okay, he just repeated himself from a minute ago.
Because you missed what she said. So she said some things, and he had to reiterate.
Okay.
Do you believe that Brittany has been effective in extracting, as you say, time,
Breathing in the mic like that. God damn.
other things out of dudes?
Yeah, to a degree, sure. Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of girls want to do. I mean, here's the thing. You've been so adamant about me being incorrect, and I don't know, and you don't know me, and all this other stuff. Tell me then. Maybe we're off. Who knows?
Well, I think, first of all, let's bring it back a couple notches.
She flipped her hair back.
Okay.
So,
She did that.
So
yeah.
there's really a lot to unpack here, because my first question to you is, what do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
That's not insults or guilt. It's shame. It's the who hurt you argument. No.
Okay. Let's go.
I mean, I know everything.
talking-
I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So, how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that
Pause.
does something for me.
Yeah, I knew that
Insult.
was coming.
That's the eye.
Yeah, I ain't gonna last very long in this shit. Notice the bourbon makes my voice a little deeper, people. That's when you got good bourbon. All right. Here we go.
I was gonna say something else. Go ahead.
If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable,
Pause.
what does that do for
told
me?
you the mic,
No,
guys.
but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying.
What does that do for me? You're not special.
You're forgettable.
Well,
Insult.
but he did insult her first too.
How? He never insulted her.
Yeah, well, in the clip earlier. Well, it's coming up. What makes you special? He said, I didn't say I'm not. And then he said something to the effect of, you're not special. You're not different from any other woman.
So what happened was
And she retorted. She responded.
he said his position, right? Like, this is, men are trying to get sex, women are trying to get resources, women run circles around men, yada yada yada. And then she came in and said, well, I want to talk about an off-camera conversation that we had where you said, I don't remember what she said. He said that alcohol is getting to my brain already. But he says to her, within the context of what women do, you're not special.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
She took it out of context and went on a rant.
Took it to heart and yeah.
Yes. She took it out of context and went on a rant, and he came back and said, no, here's what I'm saying. And that was where you picked it up, where he was reiterating his position. And then she hit him with the shame. Well,
you're a bitch.
Why are you special? Why are you special?
Yeah.
And he goes, I never said that I was special. Right. But that's the classic, it's the argument that I hate the most when people use it. Right. If you look at a house and say that house looks like shit, and they say to you, well, can you build a house? That's a stupid fucking argument. I don't need to be able to do it in order to have an opinion about it.
Correct.
I know what I like. I know what I don't like. That house looks like shit. Right? Anyway, it bugs me.
Right.
No, but I'm saying, what if I call you, if I just say that, again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
Pause. Yeah, that's about 4 drinks. Bottoms up.
Yeah, she's going out her way to be inflammatory.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the only defense that she has, really. Because
she could have a valid argument. That's a fantastic defense.
True. Very true.
Right.
But that doesn't seem to be her style with this. And again, I kind of avoid hearing her talk because I don't think she really has, not to say she's not intelligent, not to say she's not a smart woman, but there's some intelligence there to be able to play the game that she's played, and
I think she is extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is extremely intelligent. I think specific to this debate, that bourbon is killing my throat. My esophagus is like, stop.
In a minute, Mike will sound like Barry White. You're gonna hear Mike talking. So what I'm saying is, Brittany Renner.
I think in terms of this particular clip and this particular debate, and I put air quotes on that, I think her intelligence shows through in that she knows she doesn't have an argument. So she does everything she can to divert away from the questions being asked. You notice he asked the question, maybe you keep saying that I don't know you. I don't know you. Maybe you're right. Tell me about who you are. And maybe I'm wrong. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me about who you are. That was the question. She all off on left field somewhere. Never answered the question.
Because she feels insulted. And that's not something that's not special. That's not, we've been there.
Yes.
We've been there with women before. They go completely all around and out the way when, either they haven't, that's their strategy to win the argument. That's why you really can't argue with a woman, black women especially.
Smart. It's smart. Yeah. It's a smart strategy. Get your opponent emotional, get them off of their points, shake their foundation, take lead, take control of the conversation. And you can take that. Once you get your opponent emotional, you can take that conversation anywhere. Get them responding to your questions, your energy, what you put out there instead of the other way around. You can take it anywhere. You can take it anywhere. She just says a lot of nothing. But I think it's smart. It is a sign of intelligence. It's a smart strategy. I think she's very smart. I would never take intelligence away from her. Ever.
Yeah, no.
Not my favorite person, but I give credit where it's due. Please continue. We have a bottle to finish.
That's how I feel, right? But so that's fine. But for me, that's okay if it wasn't a fit for me. But I also don't need to, in a way, kind of try to devalue what you guys have going on. Because at the end of the day, I may not agree with anything you guys talk about. Because honestly, I feel like when you've seen 2 or 3 videos, you've seen them all. But the reality is that I went to your guys' page. And
I mean, this is going to continue for the next 8 minutes.
Tell Kaylee I said thank you. Or you're
Which brings
welcome,
me
actually.
back-
Tell Kaylee I said you're
Right.
welcome. Yeah.
Which brings me back to what I said. We could just sit here and talk shit and do a drink champs and just drink the bottle. Because we know what the rest of this is going to sound like. We know what the rest of this is going to sound like. You know what it is. This stays right at that same level. It's just more insulting, more inflammatory talk. You know what I mean? What didn't happen was him going, man, fuck you, bitch. That's what didn't happen.
No, but what did happen, and we don't have to play anymore. What did happen was after she did that long rant, he looked at her and said, damn, you're really triggered, aren't you? And it was at one point he looked at her and he was like, yeah, look, you just used a whole lot of words and you didn't make a point at all. And then he started, I think it was right before he reiterated and where we picked it up. But look, personal feelings about these guys aside, I think their show is entertaining. If you want to check them out, go over to Fresh and Fit. I'm not going to link to it. They're easy to find. They blew up during the pandemic, gained a lot of followers, made a mark. I think some of what Myron says is fact, right? When he starts talking about men and women and what men want and what women want, by and large, fact.
It also depends on the maturity of the man and woman. It depends on the maturity, what you're looking for. Once I got to a certain point, once I got to a certain point, and I've talked about this before, and I've told my wife this also, I got to a certain point where I didn't want to juggle women. That wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. So my focus was on having a lasting, healthy relationship and not just a physical one. Not just, superficial. You get what I'm saying? It depends on maturity, and that could be various ages. You could be 30, you could be 20 and figure it out. Not likely, but it all depends on the maturity. And their point of view is still a certain maturity. Now, there's some validity to what what the brother says, in terms of the dynamics of men and women. But it's also relative to the maturity.
So I think with
the maturity level, I should say.
Right. How you go out into the world and what you do has everything to do with your maturity level. I'll agree with you on that. But what motivates you is always going to be the desire for physical intimacy with a woman. That was at the core of why you went and picked a woman. Why you said, I want to be with a woman. This is the only woman I'm going to be physically intimate with for the rest of my life. You didn't pick and say, all right, physical intimacy is off the table. But a better statement would be, you didn't go and pick your wife and say, she can protect me. She has a great job and can pay the bills and she can make sure I'm safe. Men and women pick for different reasons.
Correct.
It just is what it is. So on that point, I agree with him, right? Where I have a bit of a disconnect is the alpha male talk that they do. Like alpha males do this, beta male that. I believe in those categories, but I believe those categories exist, but I don't think they're as black and white as a lot of people talk about them, especially as how these guys talk about it. And how they show up as dating coaches is not always aligned with how they show up in real life. And there's a bit of a disconnect for me there. But I don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. There are some things that they say that make sense. I wouldn't conduct myself that way, the way they do. But hey, man, look, just like you said about the authors, it needs to be more authors. It should be some different types in the manosphere space as well.
Yeah.
So.
Also, a broken clock is correct twice a day.
There was a dick joke there. There was. It was right there. It was right there. I'll give $50 to anybody who can figure out what that dick joke was. Because it was a bit of a complex stretch. You know, I was, yeah.
Well, that's the dick joke right there. A complex stretch.
That's what they used to call me in college.
Complex stretch.
Is the name of my band.
That's funny. So, okay, real quickly. T.I. took to the stage to do stand-up comedy. I didn't listen to his act. I didn't listen to it. I heard, from what I understand, he did 20 minutes.
What?
He did about 20, maybe 40 minutes. I think I read he did 40 minutes on stage.
It couldn't have been funny.
Here's a minute and some change of said act. So let's this is me hearing this for the first time. So I'm hearing this for the first time as you are hearing it, Mike. So check it out.
Get into the area of cheating. That's no man's land, right? You don't want to do that. Like, you know, it's all right to have friends and shit. Like, let me ask y'all a question. Can you be in a committed relationship and still have a friend from the opposite sex?
Yes.
Now, if you're fucking, it don't count. The lady's like, yes, it do. It still count. It still count. You see how motherfuckers ain't shit, man. Ladies cheat way better than us, so don't get into the game, okay? Because the shit is gonna be fucked up for you. Besides, cheating is a big game anyway, okay? Ooh, hold on. You got a little dick, don't keep that to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Okay.
That
was enough.
Was that a TED Talk?
Well, their shows are on hiatus, and T.I.'s like, I gotta do something.
Look,
and he's out there, you know, trying out stand up. Maybe it was a dare. Maybe he's working on, because that wasn't like it looked like it might have been like an open mic,
right?
You know what I mean, or a comedy room, and not necessarily a comedy club. There's a difference. Where he was trying out material. Like normally when I go out when I'm writing and trying out new stuff, you don't know if it's funny until you go up on it. And a lot of it sounds like that. You're talking through the joke and watching the response. He's not seasoned enough to know that yet, but
there was no joke though. Right? Like he was talking through premises.
Yes.
Premisi. He was talking through a couple of premises. But there was no joke. He never found the joke. The premises were good.
40 seconds.
They were good.
Yeah,
they were a good premise, but he just never. He didn't get the hit. That joke wasn't there.
No, I think T.I. has a decent sense of humor. But I also think he takes himself too seriously to do stand up. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. We see what happens if he keeps at it. I mean, stand up is one, and I've encouraged you to do it as well. I don't know if you've been writing and going out and trying it yet.
No, I haven't. So here's what's funny. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple of premises written down. And it was one that we did on the show. It might have been off show and on camera, but never made it to the public. And I said something and you were like, yo, I'm gonna use that. And I was like, hey, that's gonna be in my 3 minutes. I fucking forgot what it was.
Oh, damn.
And it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. And I forgot what it was.
I got a whole folder where in my phone where I'll just write jokes. I write premises down. There's you know. Because sometimes in conversations, just talking with people, and I'll get on a roll. I'm not trying out material; it was just in conversation. It's like, oh, this shit might be funny. But there is a difference between making one person laugh and making a room full of people laugh.
Yes,
because
comedy is highly subjective.
Yeah. And you have to trick a whole room of people to laugh at the same time. And so, you know, again, trying it out on stage, shaking it, writing it, figuring it out. Okay. And when you get good at it, and I'm not saying that I'm good at it yet, but I have a pretty decent idea of how to do it. You figure the flow, you figured your voice, and you know, it takes time to figure your voice. You know what I mean? I'm curious to see what he does with it. I mean, I mean,
I'm not.
He ain't the first rapper to, you know, to pick up stand up, or, you know, or a person in hip hop to pick up stand up. Kid from Kid and Play is doing stand up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Positive K. Paz K is doing stand up.
I didn't know Paz was doing stand up. Did you tell me that?
Paz is doing stand up. He's out. He actually has a whole show. He has been touring the Positive K Comedy Experience, and you know, he mixes, you know, his experience and different things and jokes he tells. You know what I'm saying? He's all in. So it's you know, it's a fun thing to do. Stand-up comedy is pretty fun. It's also scariest form of entertainment you can ever experience. It's not like, you know, rapping or singing or performing with a band or with a DJ or anything like that. You're out there by yourself, and all you have is these jokes.
That's it. You don't have music. You don't have a hype man. You don't have dancers. It's you and that microphone and what's in your head.
Yep. And
that's why I'm terrified of it.
and here's the other side of it. You could have a killer set with one crowd. 5 minutes later, the next show starts, different crowd, those jokes hit different. Same jokes, different personality of the crowd. You just never know. There's a lot of different variables that go into it. So seasoned comedians can read through all that and know how to switch it up and change and still adjust and kill a room. You know what I'm saying? So
for me, it comes down to this, whether it's taking up comedy, taking up carpentry, taking up plumbing, taking up rapping, whatever. Mm-hmm. Expand yourself. Do what you do. However, respect the craft, right?
Absolutely.
Don't just come in there and think, oh, all they doing is rhyming words. Anybody can do that. Oh, right. All they doing is hammering a nail into a piece of wood. Anybody can do that. That's disrespect for the craft. It's disrespect for what people did to get to the point where they get mastery of a thing.
Right. Or people that are trying podcasts. All they doing is sitting in front of a camera and a microphone and talking.
Man, look at here. We call me, we'll talk. Just figuring out the technology end of this shit. Oh, man. My God. That was a hard shit, wasn't it? That was a hard shit. I need softer shits. I'll do softer shits, man.
All right.
Write that down. That's a good way to start a bit. Start a show.
Hard shit.
How y'all doing in this motherfucker? That was a hard motherfucker. I need a softer motherfucker.
That's a hard R. That didn't feel good.
Motherfucker, not motherfucker.
There's one show I did. So I was doing up until the pandemic reactivated. Well, not that it reactivated, it just re-energized. I was doing these shows at rehab facilities in New York City. It was a beautiful thing. There's people that are in rehab centers, and a group of us comedians or whatever would go out and tell jokes. And one of the places we went to, we did 2 shows, one for the guys, and then the women came up and did for the women or whatever, right? And I remember like the show that I did, like I hosted, I was the host. So hosting is cool because you get to do a set, introduce the next person, and then in between, depending on the vibe and what's happening, tell some more jokes in between and try some new shit out, or read the crowd or do some crowd work or whatever the case, and then introduce the next person. So the second show, it was a bunch of women. I went completely left of what I had did earlier because the vibe was different. And I said something to the effect of like, you know, it's a bunch of women in the room. I said, this feels like a bunch of my exes sitting in the room judging my decisions of life. I don't know how this is going to go. and then a woman looked at me. She said, "You look like Eric Sermon." And so I went with it. She's like, "He looked like Eric Sermon." I was like, "Yeah, I am Eric Sermon." You know, and I did an Eric Sermon impression where I talked with a lisp. Shout out to Eric Sermon. You know what it is. So
don't get mad. You know what it is.
Don't get mad. You know what it is. Because EPMD was one of my favorite groups growing up. It was one of my favorite groups. But when I was younger, it sounded like one had a glob of spit in his mouth and the other one had a super lisp. Who is up to you to determine. In any case,
I think
all
we
that
know.
to say, yeah, we know. But I've turned that into a joke because, I was like, okay, I know what you think. You're sitting there watching, wondering when the hell did Eric Sermon start doing stand-up comedy? I am not Eric Sermon, and then going with the rest.
Look, this is why I know I would be terrible at stand-up. Because the first joke that occurred to me to tell at a rehab facility is drinks on me. Right? Like, this is why I know I wouldn't be good.
So one of the shows we did, there was a cat, I won't say his name, but he's a 20-something year, 30-something year vet in stand-up comedy around New York. Didn't necessarily make it big, but he got a name. People know him, and he is to the floor funny, right? We are at a facility where people abuse drugs and trying to get off of it, right? This brother had his own issues with drugs. And you talk about your experience in comedy. Right. He talked about his experience as a crackhead. He said, "I'm not a crackhead. I smoked crack once for 20 years." And went on and did, and the facility was like, "How you bring a crackhead?" And then when he ended his set, he killed. He ended his set, he walked up. He knew the cats in the crowd. "Hey, what up, Phil? Hey, what's up, fam? What up? Good to see you, man. Glad you're doing well." In the facility, he had been there before himself.
He was a part of a close-knit community.
And so the people at the rehab center was mad at the cats that booked the show, not me, but the cats that booked the show. Like, yo, how you gonna bring a crackhead in here? This that's not cool. It would have been better if he had some sort of overcoming story at the end of all the jokes.
I assumed that he did. He
did not. No, that wasn't part of what he did.
Oh, that's just great.
No, it was just like, things he did while smoking crack. Oh, I miss doing this and this and that and this and blah, 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 blah. I mean, that was his set. And it was hilarious. But where we were, it was not the most suitable.
That would have been like him walking in there like this. "I'm here to do a show for y'all. It's good to meet you. Good to see everybody." Right.
We gotta hold on to the bottle. So, right, yeah.
Waving it around, making people go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
I had a joke that I was thinking about telling and I didn't tell. But finding out that it was a rehab facility, it would have been, the premise was along the lines of, the cats that booked me, if you think I needed help, you could have just told me that. You didn't have to trick me to get in. That's the premise of it, something along those lines. And I didn't do that because that felt like in my opinion, felt like it might have been, ridiculing what they're going through.
It could have worked or not. There would have been no gray area. There would have been no chuckles. Yeah. They would have either laughed or they would have been looking at you real crazy.
Right. And so I used judgment. I'm like, nah, I'm not even going to try that. Instead, what I did was I identified with, that there are a lot of us that have family members that are dealing with addiction, and whatever got you here, you're here now. Congratulations on changing your life. And that got an applause.
All right.
Because,
the more you talk, the more I realize I'm not cut out for it. Because I would have took the burn it down option. I'd have been like, fuck it. Let's go with the inflammatory joke and burn it down. Let me tell you, if we weren't always threatened to be stricken and channel removed by YouTube, oh my God, some of the things that I would say, y'all don't know. Oh,
you know what's funny? It's so there are some cats that have no I have no filter, kind of, sorta, right? No, that's not true. I have a filter.
You got the Kaylee filter. Loose. You got the don't fuck up this money filter.
Don't fuck the money up. Yeah, exactly. That's the filter. And so I'm consciously balancing, jokes over. I actually have a career doing something outside of stand-up that stand-up could affect, and let me not be inflammatory and say something that could jeopardize other things, right? And it's just it's common sense. It's common sense. When if you're somebody like a Dave Chappelle that has nothing else to prove, has reached the pinnacle of, you take more chances. You have there's more power.
And look, and honestly, I kid. Sometimes I like to play the heel. But I would take the same kind of route that Dave takes. I wouldn't tell the same type of jokes that Dave tells, because Dave is a master storyteller. And I am not. But
yeah, give yourself credit.
Yeah,
give yourself some credit. None of us is Dave Chappelle. Nobody else.
I'm laughing at the joke. I can't tell. It makes me sad sometimes.
At some point, we just have to do a unfiltered that will never see YouTube, and just go to unpopinshow.com and hear some of the crazy shit that we might say. If we
know what we need to do? We need to do live shows. We need to do the show live. No cell phone recording allowed. And just go in, right? Because if you allow people to record it with the cell phone, they put it online. We might as well just do it online.
Oh, you mean in person live show and do it and no one,
like in a venue, not a big audience, 20, maybe 30 people, and just do the show live just for that room. Just for that room. You hear that this is what you get and nobody else gets it. Because then you would hear every off-color joke that
because it's in the context of the room and not for the internets.
Exactly. And some things are for a room and not for the internet. But my point is this, and I'll shut up about it because bourbon has loosened my tongue, and I think my favorite restaurant is no longer serving food, or won't be in the next 10 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay.
They might whip up something for me because I'm there all the time, but maybe not.
See, that's when you're celeb. You walk in there and be like, yo, I'm hungry. All right, we got you, man. And they make some shit for you. Oh, that's dope.
I'm not a celeb. I'm a
celeb in that spot.
Nah.
Walk in there, they're like, hey. It's like Cheers. Mike.
No, it's more like, he here again. You know what I am? I'm the depressing regular. I'm the old guy that young people come in and look at and say, I don't want to be him when I get older. That's who I am.
Hilarious.
But anyway.
There was a spot. Oh, I'm sorry. Just one point. There was a spot I used to go to. It's changed so many different. It's. I think it has the same name in the Village now. But me and Kelly, it became our spot. It was my spot, and then became our spot. Where we would go.
You never share your spot.
But I mean, no, only because I got off work early. So if I got off work, if I walk in the bar and the sun is still up, that's my spot. Kelly get off work and meet me there. It's now nighttime. It's a different vibe. So in any case, when I walk in and my bartender got to a point where she see me and go, "Oh, the regular," and that felt good and depressing at the same time.
Dude, I don't order drinks anymore. No. I can't tell you the last time I've ordered a drink where I've gone into this place and said, I'll have the blah, blah, blah. I come in, they see me, they give me my order. I never have to say, oh, can I get the blah, blah, blah. If I'm ordering food, then I'll say that because it's a few things that they have on the menu that I enjoy. So that switches up. But drinks? Oh, as soon as they see me, I don't have to be like, hey, I just come in and kind of nod my head. They see me and they get my drinks. It's just, anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, back.
It's cool. And like you said, also very depressing. Thank God I got somebody and she loves me. I tell her all the time, you're stuck now, you know.
Right. You can't go nowhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's me and you now. You know this, right?
This is it. It is what it is, baby. But no, in terms of jokes, I would tell the same type of jokes as Chappelle, because they have introspection, intelligence, and wisdom at the core of the joke, at the core of the story. And that's kind of how I approach things. Even the off-color stuff that I say, if I take it another step, you'll see where I'm coming from, right?
It's a point to it, of course.
Yes, it's not just to say the most outlandish thing. It's usually it's sarcasm and satire, right? It's to shake the foundation a little bit so then we can have a longer conversation. And I do that at this restaurant and other places that I go to. I like to shake the foundation a little bit and then pressure test ideas. Like, okay, you think this, well, let's put it under a little pressure and see if it stands up. And I like it when people do the same thing to me. So there's that.
Well, I mean, and that's the good thing about comedy, not just stand up, but comedy in general, especially, the more you mature, the older you get, the more you mature, the more you have to say, or at least should be. The more you have to say, and if you have something to say, that makes the comedy more worthwhile for people. That's what I think, in my opinion.
I think that's a
throwback.
Look, I stopped because I got to drive. I think that's a good place to close out this edition of the After Show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Subscribe to all of the places where you can get the podcast, the audio version, and go over to the website, hit some subscription buttons and fill out some forms and get on the email list and all of that stuff. And if you like what you hear, please share it with your friends and family. We're still in growth mode and trying to grow, and you can help us get there. So we appreciate it.
And comment and let us know what you think. What you thinking? You a up and coming comic? Have you looked and go, yeah, I could do that? Or, nah, I can't do that.
Nah, I can't do that. I'm going to do it, though. I'm going to do it. I don't know when, but I am going to do it.
There are times, there are nights, there are times that I go, yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm doing it. It is the scariest shit before, like every time before I walk out, it's like you're about to jump. And then when I get out there, it's like, it fuels me and then it goes away. So
look, I'll say this and I'll shut up because we're signing off. I still experience new experience jitters. I still experience that. But fear, I don't have fear like that anymore because I really stopped caring about the outcome. The only thing I really care about the outcome like that is my ability to provide for myself and my family. Everything else, it's like, hey, if it burns to the ground and it's not good, okay, I just won't do that again. And I just move on to the next thing. I just don't fear negative outcomes anymore.
Yeah. That's a good way. That's a good way to be to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But
it started with women. That
we won't
actually
even delve into that. That sounds
actually
like,
wasn't a joke. It was the truth.
yeah, but there's so much there. You know what? Cue music.
Mental image of the big giant hook pulling me off stage.
Right, Sandman coming. Hey, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Let somebody know about it, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.